Hey guys, this is Eric with versDESIGN, and I'm bringing you my second speed build. Right off the bat, you see I am going for more of a unique shape that doesn't stick. I keep it fairly simple with this one. It's a relatively boxy design with a nice little carport in the front, and yeah, I just wanted this to be a nice little townhome. It was a request that I got via Twitter by one of my followers wanted to see a townhome. And I'm still working on this Japanese architecture style. And yeah, I carry that from my first video. I did a starter home-ish build in my first video, and this one is more of like a high-end townhome. I call it Tokyo Townhouse because I feel like it is very much so really unique, like Asian influence design. And yeah, right here you see me doing CFE, and just in a second the video is gonna cut. And yeah, right there. And yeah, I spent probably an hour and a half trying to CFE that roof into submission, and it just was not working for me. So I cut out many minutes of frustrating video that is totally boring for anyone trying to watch and very frustrating for me trying to do. So yeah, I just went ahead and nixed it. One of the hardest parts of doing this type of roof is that you can hardly ever get the roofs to slant inward towards each other. And that's a design I've been trying to pull off, trying to teach myself to do in The Sims 3. And it's just so difficult. And I finally got it to work using multiple levels, different dummy levels. And you'll see on the right hand side what ends up being the kitchen slanting inward from right to left. um, yeah, that one, it slants down, and then the second level actually goes all the way around the left side too, and I built the third level off of it. So, yeah, that was a trick that I've only used once or twice in a couple builds, and it's a little hard to pull off, but you'll see in a moment that it is definitely worth it. I love the roof design on this home. Uh, yeah, just still doing the roof on this build. You'll see that takes up a bit of the video. But yeah, this dummy level was giving me a lot of trouble getting this to, because I couldn't draw the walls over the slanted piece, which would have made this process a lot easier. But c'est la vie. Here I am doing the CFE on the roof. I think that is the one where I got it. I believe that is, yeah, that's the victory lap, I think. Delete all of that, give it a nice white color, and yeah, I debated changing the color from white to something else, but I feel like the white is just super modern, and it really complements the style of this build. I tried I don't think it's in this video, but just playing around with the build off camera, I tried doing it in concrete and doing it in wood, but the only wood textures you could use on the walls were the vertical cladding instead of the horizontal. I wanted the horizontal, but it warped on the top levels where the walls are slanted. So yeah, as you could tell, this was not the easiest house to design. It gave me a lot of troubles. There's a lot of footage that you won't see actually because it's cut out. And yeah, the windows gave me a little bit of trouble too because I wanted to keep kind of the stark white modern aspect, keep a lot of the building white and not a lot of windows, but also have enough windows to let in light. I don't know if that makes sense, but I wanted this balance of light on the inside and stark white on the outside, and I think I found something that worked pretty well. I end up keeping those windows all the way across the bottom floor, and it just lets in tons of light. It lets me keep the right side fairly secluded and keep the left side glass. It ended up working pretty well. Yeah, there's the floor tiles that I end up keeping, the dark wood. I wanted to do a concrete floor, but I just did that in my other speed build, and I decided to do some dark wood. I was on the fence between dark wood and light wood, and it ends up, yeah, pretty dark. The whole house ends up pretty dark, actually. There's a lot of black, a lot of gray, and if that's not not your thing. You might not love this house, but those are the types of houses I design. And we are starting on the interior now. I thought a pool room would just be so cool for a townhouse like this, and put the windows on both sides of the pool so it's open and area just like that. But I don't know, I couldn't. It felt like the pool was in the living room, and that was just weird. I couldn't get it a way that I liked, so I eliminated it and put the kitchen in there actually. Excuse me. Yeah, here I am playing, and you'll notice that on the dummy level, I don't wall off the space by the four stairs. I don't know if that makes any sense at all, but yeah, right there. There's four stairs that lead up from the dummy level to what is technically the second story, but it's the third level in the game. And I didn't put a wall there because in my infinite wisdom, I finished the roof, which took me, like I said, hours, and then I realized that I would have to do it all over again to add that little wall, and it was not worth it. So I didn't do it. Sue me. Some of you might be perfectionists, and you might hate that, and you'll go in and change it right away. But for me, it was fine. Yeah, I'm doing the floor plan for the second story. I end up keeping that large square space in the back as the master bedroom and master bath. Those two squares on top of each other by the stairs end up being the second bedroom and a half bath, and the space between is like a little lounge area on the second floor, which I thought was came out pretty nice. Yeah, adding some wall paint here, doing the trim at the bottom. I used black trim in the last house, so I used white in this one. Just trying to mix it up a little bit because this was reading a little bit too much like the last house that I did, and I didn't want that, so I tried to switch things up in here. Use a little bit more color, a little bit more texture, just less of like a sterile all white house and more personality, and I think it works out pretty well here. I say less all white when we're doing an all white kitchen, but you know, yeah, I ended up deleting part of that right there because it ended up way too big. I'm tossing in the appliances right now, which I am realizing I don't believe I recolored. It's a big thing for me. I hate it when my appliances don't match in really high-end kitchens. Oh wait, yeah, I did. Okay, I colored it black. Though what I did forget, and I'll let you know that right now, I did not add a sink or a dishwasher in the kitchen. I totally forgot. I realized after I had already rendered the video, so buy it yourself. Yeah, I also didn't add bar stools on the island, but that was a little bit intentional. I thought it would kind of clutter, especially when I did this dining area. So if you want to add the bar stools, be my guest. If not, be my guest. Yeah, I end up not liking that pastel blue so much. I think that gets changed. At least, yeah. Okay. I hope it gets changed. Yeah, that's one thing that I apologize for if you're downloading these houses and you don't care for. There is a lot of dark stuff in my houses. I know that that's not everyone's style. A lot of people prefer color, 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 but that's not necessarily my style. I do want to do a build soon that uses a lot of colors, and I think that will probably be my next build. It'll be a colorful house. Um, but again, for this one, we run with basically a black and white and gray color scheme. There's some blue, some green, but yeah, I tried to keep it fairly simple but lively looking, like it's lived in. It's not like a show house. So that large space where I'm dropping this sectional right here is going to be the living area. It's not the most ideal space, but it ends up working out pretty well. The door in the middle of the room really segmented the room. So there's this space in the middle of the room, excuse me, where there's no furniture, there's no rugs or really anything. But, that's how space is in a real house, I think. Not every square inch of your house is filled with knickknacks and things. There's empty space, and that's what lets your house breathe. And I don't know, I don't think it looks fantastic in The Sims, but I don't know. Here I am using some of the diesel pack again. This all gets switched around. Yeah, that trunk didn't fit under that table, so I used that trunk. I think I end up slapping in like a, not an armoire, yeah, that thing, that display shelf thing. And it took me a while to find a color on it that I liked, but once I settled with one, I ran with it and I really liked it. Yeah, I didn't know what to put on that wall with the bathroom. It was kind of an empty space, so I just filled it with little things that you would have in your house, I guess. Paintings. You'll notice I'll use those four paintings in a row stacked on top of each other. Probably in every house. I will probably use that in every house, to be honest. I think it looks really great in the paintings, and the artwork in this game is a little bit wanting. So yeah. I am gonna do one house soon that will not be available for download. I won't be uploading it. It won't be part of my Sims Exchange account because I want to do a custom content house. And I have so much custom content installed on my computer. It's ridiculous. I have over 1,000 pieces of custom content installed, and I love using it. And I know you wouldn't love downloading it probably, so that's why it won't be up. But yeah, I will probably do that for my next speed build. Over here, there's an area off to the side of the bathroom that I just wanted to make like a lounge area, like a nice, relaxing little area with a couch. And I settle with that geometric print that's black on black, and I think it just looks killer. um, I think it looks really good in that corner. Yeah, you'll see these chairs. I think they are the diesel pack. I don't know. I really love that chair. I really love it. And the blue and white stripe look nice in there. The patterns, I don't like to mix patterns too often because I feel like most patterns clash, but those, I feel like those work together. They were a little bit interesting together, so I went with it. Yeah, over here, tossing in again one of those little chests from the diesel pack, and just like playing around with different effects, things that I could put underneath the television. I have so many pieces of custom content that look amazing underneath the television like that, but I'm not using them. And that's a little bit new to me, to be honest, new for me rather. Not using custom content, because before I would record, I would just make houses for myself and I would use whatever I wanted. But now that I'm trying to get my houses out in the community and get people downloading them and using them, I am trying to adjust my game plan a little bit. And so you'll see that I'm using basically all of the packs that I have. Um, yeah, so I apologize if you don't have all of these stuff packs or all of these expansion packs, but yeah, that was what I was working with building this house. I end up really loving this bathroom. I think this bathroom looks really killer when it's done. I did have to compromise a little bit on the other side by the kitchen. You see me knocking out this wall and adding a washer and dryer. It was just something I wanted to add. I haven't put in any of my houses since I've bought the pack that has the washer and dryer, which is I don't know, one of them. um, yeah, so I went ahead and tossed them over by the kitchen just for a little bit more in depth of a design. I think it looks really nice. Um, yeah, another thing you'll see in a lot of my builds is a water closet. I think that's the term for it. Just the room with the toilet and the just in this house anyway. There's like a table and a couple plants or just what I thought felt appropriate in that room. There's the washer and dryer. I throw them in there, and then I come back later and detail the space up a little bit. Yeah, you'll see um, that most of my designs, well, my designs are very modern, even minimalist, but I don't think my interiors are so much like that. Like this is a very decorated bathroom. There's a leather chair, there's plants, there's paintings, and I like that to be very different from the exterior of my house. I feel like the insides are a little bit of a surprise, and I like that. Yeah, I'm not sure what I am doing right this moment. Oh yeah, that sofa was just reading a little bit blue, so I came and brought it into more of a navy color shortly. Yeah, right here. We're moving upstairs. I ended up really liking the guest bedroom actually. It ended up a really functional, really, I think, realistic design, honestly. Um, yeah, it ends up having its own half bath, which was something I've been trying to implement more in my games. I think a few things you can do to make your house seem very high end is, well, for starters, hardwood. I feel like hardwood throughout your house makes it look just so classy, especially dark hardwood like I used here. Um, yeah, another thing is adding individual bathrooms. And you'll notice in a lot of more upscale homes, you'll have a bathroom for every bedroom, or at least a half bath. And that's what I did for this one, just a small half bath for the guest room. And I'm basically stealing from the other bathroom. I just loved the downstairs bathroom, so I kind of stole the ideas that I used there. I guess it's not stealing if it's from myself, but I recycled the ideas. I wasn't feeling super original. Yeah, over here, this space ends up being like a shared hangout space for the top floor. And it could easily, I mean, it's basically replicating the downstairs hangout area. So there's like a couple sofas, a table, and a television. The basics anyway. And I add a few more things like rugs and plants, but if you want, you could totally delete this. That could be turned into a gym. It could be turned into a home office. It could be turned into like an art studio. It could really be anything. That space is really usable. Um, yeah, I ended up adding that pinstripe pattern on the one wall. I brought that in there. I really was just trying to use more, I guess, not specifically patterns, but more interesting textures in my games. And I feel like I kind of succeeded in this one. It ends up a fairly extensive build, and I feel like the home doesn't repeat itself too much, especially for me going eyedropper crazy and stealing everything from the bottom floor. Uh, but yeah, um, this is the final room that I'm finishing is the master, and it has the bedroom, the bathroom, the water closet, and then a desk area. Um, yeah, I struggled with this little dresser. That's the word, a dresser. Yeah, I struggled with the dresser a little bit because I've realized that the stuff packs and the expansion packs I have don't have fantastic dressers. I only have like 6 or 7 from all of the packs that I have, not counting base game, because frankly, I don't ever use base game content. I don't care for basically all of it. Um, yeah, I am finishing up the last water closet over here. You'll see that it's completely separate from the other part of the bathroom, which I thought was really cool. Yeah, that area in the corner with the 2 windows ends up being the like the workspace for the house. Yeah, if you need more computers or more electronics or hobby stuff in the house, obviously that's attainable. But just for this build, I didn't include very much of it. I just the basics really. It ended up being around 150,000 simoleons, which I think is pretty reasonable for a house this big. Excuse me. And we're moving outside and just finishing touch things. I'm adding a car and a couple trees. And you know what, guys, that's going to do it for me for this build. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will certainly have more content up in the next few days. All right, take care, guys. Thanks.